accounts corroborate. So you'll have like two children that are rescued on opposite ends of the country, and they'll both be able to describe like the same types of rituals, the same types of symbols, the same types of people. So there seems to be something there. We don't have like video evidence, we don't have pictures, we don't have really strong evidence like that. But the eyewitness testimonies that match up, and we go through it all in the movie. We actually have a couple of people who are advocates and counselors that deal with people who come out of satanic ritual abuse. Some of these kids that have actually been rescued from it, from these things. So their eyewitness accounts match up, and they don't have a way of networking or communicating with one another. So something's going on there. But again, and like I said before, we don't want to sensationalize, and we want to be honest in the evidence that we have. It is purely at this time, it's purely eyewitness accounts. So it's anecdotal evidence.
All right.
At best.
Okay, Josh, we'll take a timeout. We'll open up the phone lines and take questions and comments on the other side. Here's Brian Owen taking us into the break with Walk the Line on Coast to Coast AM.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes.
So they're talking about a movie that was made. Another one. Not quite just like The Box or Nocturne, The Sister Steals Journals. Yeah, this is a documentary, but like those other ones, which I had no clue that that's what the 8 films to die for was even about. The free bin. Yeah, Haven and I didn't know. I didn't realize that they were real movies about real people. I don't know which ones where I was in and we keep watching when I was homeless down there, but the Box about brain simulators and having a doctor friend named Nolan. And then there's a Dr. Noli for a Noli transition in tribal paperwork from Penobscot Indian Nation. And then the Nocturne where the sister steals the younger sister's, like the Golden Child's journals that were left to her and tries to take her place. And then Evil Eye. And then there's also, that one was the Nocturne. Yeah. So pretty much it's talking about child sex trafficking. And my children were actually rescued. 2 of my triplets, they were found and rescued. And then they were all taken from me and given right back to them. I think all my luck in the world was to find all my children alive. And that's why I had bad luck my whole life. All my good luck was saved up for that, not for some other girl to pretend to be Stevie Lee McGrain, June 26, 2019, and then sell my children. They did do what those people that had kidnapped me when I was a child did. They put something inside of my daughter's clit. They put something inside of her brain to measure, do studies of orgasms. They do this to targeted individuals. They will do it to the point where it is excruciatingly painful. That's not the only thing that they do. They can broadcast thoughts. They can do all this other stuff. They are putting children through studies. I never signed for my children to be put in any studies. They did this when they abducted me from the Cove. And if you guys don't believe me of why my family doesn't really pay attention or know so much, because I come from double families, when they were there, they would do what Joe Biden was just seen on TV doing. They would just put them in sleep mode. This is why I always had so many people protecting me until somebody decided to pretend to be me. I was entrusted with First Nation when we separated, when Penobscot decided to finally separate. It was to be in my care. I've not been allowed to be in charge of anything. My children have been held from me physically held from me since June 16, 2016, when I was falsely imprisoned, and they said it was for those charges that were removed. So if those charges were removed, then why are my children being taken? Why were they not separate court? If family and criminal were supposed to be separate. If I was misled and held in a jail, actually being told that I was going to be pretty much dead, held for 3 days. If they're saying that I'm mentally incompetent, again, that would land on the jail in Florida. I was mentally competent enough to serve jail time. But 3 days of 3 days of starving my body and my brain of oxygen definitely could do that, can cause brain damage. But I've been pretty well. I've had many brain bleeds, concussions. I've had a lot of different things happen, and I seem to still be smarter than the whole generation or the general public. They're not seeming to understand if something is illegal and something doesn't make sense, or if something is to throw something out in court, why is it not working for me? Why is all this falsified documentation only working for these other people? Why are they not putting the people that are falsifying it in jail? Now, I'm all for these people, that have served their jail time, whatever. They've paid their debt to society. They have done that. Now, what I'm not okay about is the fact that their criminal history is on my fake DCF paperwork. I don't have any problem with these girls that have done stuff. I mean, I do have problems with some of the things that they've done, but a girl that has been arrested and served her time for trafficking drugs, I'm not trying to bring up her shit because she did serve her time. Now, when my children and I become involved, that's a whole other problem. Now, were you going to torture that girl who paid her debts to society already? Or were you going to, and then therefore, praise and give everything to the people who have not served any debt to society for the shit that they have done? This is where I have a serious problem, is a lot of these people are not understanding what jail is like. Jail is fucking hell. Jail is fucking hell. I was never to be put back in a jail ever. Ever. And I have since been put into Penobscot County twice. For a false public alarm for when I called when Chris was at the house when he was not to return to the property. I'm not really sure why nobody's taking this seriously. Everything that I reported, I did time with those girls in Florida. Well, when I was kidnapped. I didn't kidnap anybody. Again, another fucking thing you guys need to listen to. I was kidnapped. I did not kidnap anybody. The kidnapping charges were me against the sheriff's department and the police department. Not me kidnapping somebody. This is where you guys get shit all fucked up. And now my children are gone again. My children have been held. They were illegally, my parents were supposed to have them. I've been informed that my parents and my son died. I was informed that in August by a Lincoln police officer in Lincoln, Maine. These people down in Florida didn't even have badges or anything. They got my confidential address to give to Betsy, who was seen out back my house, who had items from my home, who was insane life insurance and then all this other stuff. They've slowly stolen everything from my parents, my father's plaques, his trophies, everything from golf, from sponsoring Pine Tree Legal, which is why DHS could not have any legal representation. Neither could the tribe against me, as well as Pine Tree Camps. He was also he did a lot of stuff for the Indian tribes. He also had his rain soft water softener stuff, which is through Ion, through the Wall Street, through the building of the through the stock market system, and how the world survives and communicates, as well as the life insurance policies, and yeah, so pretty much. You guys have not only destroyed everything, but you guys have stolen everything from me. And again, if I did die of which again, you cannot take my belongings or take other things that are for me because I missed a court date that was not real. I did not have to show up to any court dates. I was not told about these court dates. Now, if I have had everything stolen from me and my court dates are published in a magazine or in a friggin' thing, when you guys can serve me paperwork that doesn't make sense about my children, but you don't know how to serve me paperwork another way? You guys didn't think to serve me paperwork any of the other times that I've had run-ins with any type of law enforcement? That fake warrant? What about the 7 or 8 other times that I had since March that I had communication, had met with or spoken with or talked to in person or over the phone with police officers? Was this warrant never mentioned? And we did ask about it. And there wasn't one. And I went to Bangor Police and there wasn't one. And then 3 days later, and that was after I tried to press charges and file a report against Betsy Peasley for trafficking my children. And why the 6-hour hold is still apparently going on, and why they said that my child's father, Chris phaneuf, was safe when he was not in fact safe, because I did not know which person he was, which one he was. I needed to press charges against when Quinn and I had gotten hurt. And I needed to also prove out, because I had not been informed that my home study had failed due to Chris lying about his sexual assault on a minor. I was not informed about that until last summer. But yet he's good enough to give my other children to. Now that's a huge problem. You guys are not doing anything or keeping anything in track. You guys, this is why America is not protecting our children. America is hurting them. Everybody just keeps calling me crazy, telling me that I'm on meth, telling me that I'm on heroin. Well, you know what? I can't fucking get any medications. Do you guys know anything that keeps blood pressure up? Do you know of anything? Because the cancer that I have, my blood pressure gets so slow. I have been begging people. I've had a few times they've been able to draw my blood. When they have drawn my blood, it's because my blood gets so thick that it therefore sits, and the blood inside of my bones sits. And it is like battery acid, the cerebral spinal fluid, which is from untreated brain cancer and a brain infection. Now my blood pressure, I have severely low blood pressure. To keep my blood pressure up. Now, I have also needed to have, just like before when they treated this, when they lied to me and said that it was a sinus infection when it was in fact a brain infection, and I had to have brain surgery in 2006. I had to have IV fluids 24/7 constant, and most of the time in pressure bags, meaning they forced it in quickly, as well as having my blood drawn 6 to 8 vials twice a day. To try to get, separate my blood and try to get this blood infection down and get the cancer down. Now, if my blood is infected this badly, then how am I supposed to, in fact, get anything, like, how am I supposed to have it help you guys when it's, like, nobody's using my blood anymore? They're using, these other people are using my blood. They, because my cells regenerate so quickly, it helps cure people. It helps people get better faster. It helps people with different cancers. It helps people with a lot of stuff because I'm immune to so many different things. It helps people with the flu shots. Everybody's been dying of influenza B since 2015. The COVID is just a fucking cover up for all of the health infonet people because nobody would let me speak to them. And all of that leads right back onto Hernando County sheriffs getting given my HIPAA. And then, we're down to the point where right now where nobody can die. You need to not kill anybody's children, anybody, anywhere. Because you've killed off the geniuses, the people that know how to survive, to take their places. You didn't know what those lists were. You didn't know anything. You thought you could just take their places. Those are the people like me that are a necessary way of the new world. You guys have just completely banished on the cure, which is the anointed, which is the person that doesn't die. How many times has my heart stopped? It was 11 hours worth. A year and a half ago, my heart had been stopped for 11 hours total. Same body, same mind. I wake up. You guys are doing this mind switch shit with fucking Elon Musk, which needs to stop because you guys are allowing other people to go into people's bodies. You guys are allowing people to go into people's bodies around people that have hurt those people. You guys have allowed my child molester to not only be my attorney, but also be inside of people.